Hey, you know, when new students come to me for the first time for in-person lessons, you know what the most common thing that they ask me for that they would really like to improve? It's their consistency, they say. They say, Steve, show me how to be more consistent. So right after this, I'm going to give you a tip that hopefully will help you not only get consistently longer off the tee, but consistently straighter, more shots in the sweet spot, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. I continue on my journey to hit it longer and straighter, not only off the tee, but all the way through to the green, because hitting the ball like that for 18 holes with that kind of control is just so much fun. I wish that experience upon you too. I'd like to help you get there. So if you'd like to pick up a few yards off the tee and maybe hit a few more fairways, drop your scores, then by all means join us. Hit the subscribe button right there. Like this video at the end if you got some benefit, and of course leave a comment down below, especially if you have a question. All right, so how are we going to get a little bit more consistent? Well, I'm holding here, this is called the Orange Whip, and I love this tool for a variety of different reasons. One of them it is to help me smooth out my transition. So there's one thing that tends to make golfers really inconsistent, and that's getting this downswing started off wrong by either being too quick and not completing the backswing, which we all tend to do once we get under a little bit of pressure in that club championship or that $5 press on the weekend against your buddies. So we tend not to complete the backswing, get a little quick. Or the other thing that a lot of people tend to do is pull on the club. They try to pull. Now there is a natural pull force or a pull action caused by the pivoting and turning, and that definitely has a pull force on the club. So I'm not talking about that one. Instead, I'm talking about this extra left arm pull that will manifest later on in the swing as kind of, sometimes if it's late, it'll manifest in this chicken wing finish, and if it's early, it'll result in kind of a bent arm look on the way down into the ball. So the force is usually further back, and then the response is the elbows kind of bending. Even the right arm can end up short at impact with a late version of that. And I like to use this Orange Whip to not only work on the tempo, but also make sure that I don't have that extra pulling force that's kind of from anxiety and tension and really wanting to rip it way out there. That's really where it comes from. So this, I'll show you the difference in two swings here. On swing number one, I'm gonna get quick and I'm gonna yank on it, okay? And you're gonna see, you can see how flexy this thing is, right? It's very flexy. And you're gonna see it bend a lot if I get too quick. So here's swing number one, which I see a lot of people doing to be not consistent with their ball striking, get them in a lot of trouble, and that looks like this. All right, so I got real quick. Watch it again. And I tried to pull the arms down into the ball, and you see both times the shaft hit me in the back because it bent so much. So what I like to do instead with this is the opposite of that. Number one, I want to establish a pendular rhythm, a 3-count pendular rhythm. So something like a waltz count where it would be and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in this swing, you can see there is no pulling of the handle, so this gravity is affecting or pulling outwards on the shaft and keeping it pretty straight. So if I can kind of simulate that during the swing, and I can make sure that my outwards force that I'm creating by the throw release motion always exceeds the pulling action of the turning and of the shift and the pivot, and not adding that extra pulling of the arms, well, I can keep this shaft pulling taut. Now you see, only at the top of the swing, you're gonna see it just bend a little bit with gravity, but as soon as I start down, we'll look at this in slow-mo again, you're gonna see that the shaft is gonna look like it's an iron bar. It's gonna look really straight. So let me give that a try. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so looking back at that swing in slow motion, you could see that it's a very wide arc back and coming down, which I'm really needing more of, but you can also see that the shaft was pulled taut because of the outward seeking full force was exceeding any inward seeking force. So you're going to get more of this iron bar effect. Now, every new swing idea has its own unique set of feels, and I'll share my feels with you. And those are a good jumping off point for you, is to try to feel these ideas. But there is no universal description for feel, so you can take these points that I'm going to give you, but you're going to have to kind of dig your own feels out of the dirt as you practice this. So to me, the wrong swing feels like my arms are more tense, not only at address, but going back in preparation for the pulling action. I don't feel a pause here, and I feel like right from the top of the swing is a big burst of energy, and that's not where we want the force to crescendo at all. The uncocking torque actually crescendos to its peak a little bit more down here, closer to this area. So when I make a good swing, I most definitely feel more patient with the arm tension and the grip. It just doesn't, I don't need it anymore if I'm going to make the right rhythm swing. So I almost precede it by getting looser at address. Then I definitely feel a pause, which feels longer with the ball in the way than with not. And instead of feeling like I'm giving it the burst right here at the top of the swing, I definitely feel going kind of like, I don't know, accelerating in a Prius, a really old Prius, where it just feels like it's nothing here, and then it just slowly builds into a big crescendo at the ball, or just past the ball instead. So I feel like it's a real gradual building, and it's very patient. And I'm just waiting to deliver the heavy blow at the ball instead of applying this big burst of energy early. All right, let me see if I can hit one for you using this better technique where I am pausier and I don't rush the transition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of swings with this guy first, so I can kind of develop and remember the feel that I'm going to be after with my driver. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can definitely see the pause and the unhurried tempo and rhythm there. Okay. So even if I have to gear back in speed on this driver, all I'm trying to do is going through my mind right now, and I'm trying to remember precisely what that whole profile felt like. I'm going to try to repeat it, even if it means slowing down a bit, not worrying about where the ball goes, just repeat the rhythm. All right, so that definitely felt different than my normal swing. It felt more patient at the top, and it felt like I waited. I was patient starting on the way down and feeling like I was delivering the blow a little bit later, just to stay with a good rhythm and tempo and not pull down the club like I'm in a big hurry. All right, so I'm gonna go back and working with my orange whip a little bit more. If you would like to pick one of these up, then by all means head over to my website or just check the link I've left to buy one of these guys down in the description below. Hey, I'm Steve. Thanks so much for watching, and as usual, I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.